Hey guys, it's Jake from Wani here, and I'm here with Myles Kennedy from Alter Bridge. Myles, man, how you going?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously got a lot to talk about. We've got Alter Bridge coming back to Australia for the first time since 2014, and you guys are hitting New Zealand on this tour for the first time since 2008. So how excited are you to be returning to Australasia to play these shows, man?
Oh, it's real exciting. We feel like over the last decade or so, people have been very, very good to us in that part of the world. So, it's definitely a testament to the fact that rock and roll seems to be alive and well. So, we're grateful to be coming back for sure.
Yeah, cool, and that actually ties in really well with what I was going to ask next, but you guys do have a pretty strong following down here, but I mean, that's sort of true over the world over for you guys, but did you want to get back here sooner than you were able to?
Well, sure. I mean, I think that part of the problem with it's a good problem to have when you've got multiple territories that allow you to build up a fan base and build up a touring base. But there's only so much time during an album cycle, and when you add into that the fact that both Mark and I have been playing in various different entities, Flip as well. We've got so many projects going on, so there's just it makes it so that basically it's an album every 3 years. So with that said, we feel like we're long overdue to get back to your part of the world and make good on our promises to keep our fans satiated and happy down there.
Touching on that, the last couple of times that you were here were part of the Soundwave Festival. Does it finally feel good to be bringing your own headline show over rather than those festival slots?
Well, there's a part of me that's sad that we're not doing Soundwave just because it became such a tradition for us this time of year. But at the same time, I think we all love doing our own shows because you get to play longer, and that hopefully most everyone in the room is a fan of the band, and so when you're doing festivals, it's a little different mindset because you're just you hope you have fans there as well, but you also know there are a lot of people you're trying to win over, so it's a little different mindset. But we're definitely very excited to be able to do a full set, and I'm excited to return as well because if I remember last time I was there, I got really sick, and so I remember during some of those Soundwave shows I was really struggling vocally. There's a nasty sort of, I don't know what it was, but it about knocked me out. So I really want to get back there and hopefully be back to 100%.
Yeah, definitely, and I guess that's the good thing about doing these shows is that you're able to come down and bring your own headline performance down and then go from there. And part of the good thing with this tour is you're actually bringing US-based New Zealand band Like a Storm with you for these shows. They're obviously friends of yours, right, because they've toured not only with Alter Bridge but also Tremonti as well. So was it an easy choice to bring them along for this particular part of the tour?
Yeah, those guys they're kind of like family at this point. We've done so much with them, and they're, besides the fact they're a great band, they're just really good human beings. They're hardworking, and we feel like, especially considering how hard we see them working and how they've just been beating the pavement for years. It's a real pleasure to bring them down, and hopefully, they'll captivate some new fans in the process. So we wish nothing but the best for those guys.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you sort of say captivating new fans in the process, because even though they are originally from New Zealand, I don't think they've actually played in Australia before. So
yeah, I think you're right. So I know that they've certainly done a lot of touring in the United States, but as far as outside the United States, I think they're just now kind of getting their start. So it should be real fun for them.
Yeah, definitely. I want to swap tempo a little bit now and talk about the latest record, The Last Hero. So it's a great record. It's received praise fairly globally since it released. It debuted at number 6 on the ARIA charts down here, and I guess on the back of that praise, there's the strong lyrical themes and the uplifting music, which seems more progressed than offerings on the previous albums. How different was the writing process on this record compared to the previous records?
I think the process was pretty similar, if not identical. You know, we've definitely got a thing and an approach that we use that's really evolved over the last 13 years, especially between Mark and I. But I think probably the shift that people are hearing more than anything is there was just from a content standpoint, there were certain subjects we usually shied away from, that being something, you know, things that are political in nature. And it was just such an interesting time in the United States last year. It was hard to set that aside. It was hard for that not to infiltrate the writing process, or at least the emotions people were feeling about it. And one of the things I feel like we did a good job of maintaining is expressing somewhat the disillusionment and how divided people were feeling, while not getting on some sort of agenda trip and telling people what they should and shouldn't believe politically, because that's something that can really turn off people and ultimately alienate people. So that was the goal there, was to make sure we didn't cross that line.
Yeah, and that actually ties in really well with the next question, where I was going to say that The Last Hero sort of seems like a very fueled record. And obviously, as you said, the status of everything that was happening last year in the US obviously resonates well with a lot of the fans. But do you think that given everything that's happening today, that the lyrics and the music and that might resonate that little bit more with fans?
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, I think to our surprise, we were wondering if once November came and after November came and went, if any of this would be relevant. But now it seems to be more so. So, yeah, it's been it's been very interesting. I think that you know, we meet people along the way who express kind of their gratitude for us expressing these emotions, because it helps them feel a certain amount of solace that other people feel the same way. So it's, you know, that's the power of music, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I recently saw it mentioned that you described the track Blackbird as a defining moment for the band. So with this record getting the attention that it's got, receiving the praise that it's got, can you let us know if there was, I guess, another Blackbird moment on this particular record?
Oh, man. Let's see. I think to some degree there's a song called This Side of Fate, which is very epic in nature, long, which there were certain moments as we were putting that together that felt pretty intense, and we knew that we were on something special, at least in our eyes. For me personally, there are moments in the title track and The Last Hero that really, I guess for lack of a better word, move me, kind of the way Blackbird did, especially in the bridge section. It seemed very, 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 it had a profound effect on me when we were sitting back and listening. I remember after Elvis had basically put together a rough mix, and I was sitting there, and that's when it dawned on me that this was another one of those real pivotal moments for me, where I really felt something very intense as I sat and listened to the track, much the way I did when I listened to Blackbird for the first time. So that's part of the reason. That's part of what keeps me striving to create. Are those moments, those highs are really what you do it for. There's really nothing that I've experienced in life that are quite as rewarding. It's just that when you know something you are part of creating is resonating with you and giving you those goosebumps, it's a great feeling.
Switching over now to something a little bit different, but what's next for you? I mean, Tremonti is going to be writing the next solo record and touring with that. Slash is busy with the Guns N' Roses tour, so I feel like the Guns N' Roses machine isn't going to stop for a while. Do you have any solo record in the works, or is there anything that you plan on doing?
Yeah, from a solo record standpoint, I'm on the writing trip again. I recorded one a few years ago, and it turned out cool. But there's something to be said about songs having a shelf life, and so I wanted to have a go at writing a whole new batch and see how I felt when that was all said and done. But at this point, I'm just writing, and when I'm not touring or working with Alter Bridge, I'm locked away creating a new batch of tunes, and where they end up, we'll see.
Yeah, cool. And just following on from that, I guess, do you see yourself as maybe doing some more work with Slash and the Conspirators on their next record in the near future, or?
Yeah, there's been talk of that. I think it's just a matter of when everybody's schedules will make it so that can happen. Because as you said, the Guns N' Roses thing is going great, and so it's just a matter of when that window comes.
Yeah, cool. And I guess keeping the ball rolling on that, the Guns N' Roses tour has been really successful, and as a rock fan, tours like these are good for rock. So, kind of a cliche question, but do you think that rock is dead given the success of this tour?
No, absolutely not. I think that this tour is a testament to the fact that there are still millions of people that want to hear rock and roll, which is a good thing. I think that people have been saying that rock and roll is soon to be dead since it started, which is fascinating to me. But I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. Yeah,
cool. Finally, one last question for you, Myles. The term passion is used quite often to describe not only Alter Bridge's music but also your stage shows. So how is it that each record and performance continues to build on the passion of their predecessors to build up to something that is as, I guess, universally praised as The Last Hero?
Well, I think our goal is to just try and create and perform from a place that's sincere and honest. And I think that maybe that's part of our gift is we have maybe an overabundance of these emotions that we try to convey with a certain amount of sincerity and attempt to be very genuine. And it's not always easy because to tap into some of those emotions as you're writing and as you're performing can be somewhat of an arduous process at times, but we've managed to make it work, and we'll keep doing it as long as the well is full.
Wonderful. That sounds beautiful. Myles, thanks so much for your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing you when you come down here early next month.
Sounds great. Thank you, Jake.